Hi, welcome in. I'm Nina Zapala, and this is a place we talk about personality typing with a spiritual understanding. So, if you've been following along, I do talk a lot about my own life and my 7-year life tsunami, and what brought me to just creating this new theory of personality typing with a spiritual understanding. And one of the things I want to talk about today is how important the non-physical spiritual aspects of, of being a human being and integrating that as a cooperative, actually leading force of who you are. Because obviously your personality type is very, very, very important. It basically indicates your characteristics, your behaviors. It indicates, a cluster of lessons, life lessons that we have to work on. So it is very important, and it's a big guide for you. It's a big factor. And I'm going to give you, now I am talking about this, I'm going to give you an example of this. If you don't have the spiritual part integrated into this, is where the ego and fear starts taking over. And I'll give you an example, because I think we're going to learn best, if we all learn from each other. And that's one of my things I want to be here for you. I don't want to be some guru or some, that's not some savant or anything. No, I'm just a person like you, learning, going through stuff every day and figuring it out. I'm finding myself. Every time I go through something, I'm finding out more about myself, because we're all here to do that. We're all here to find ourselves. Because when we find ourselves, that's when we can start connecting into our soul center, our divine intelligence, because that allows us to have this really cool, higher dimensional experience in a lower dimensional energy, which, as you know, that's changing too. So I'm saying that for now, because that's going to change. So I jumped on today because yesterday I got like a huge gut punch. I was like, what? You know how one phone call can change your life like in a minute? Well, that's what happened. So, I first kind of freaked out. I was kind of in shock. I kind of knew this was coming, but I didn't really know it. You know it, but you don't really know it. Like she's like, oh yeah, it's coming. And then until it comes, you feel it, because how you experience life is through your feelings. It's not intellectually. And I talk a lot about that in the book. So, boy, did I felt. I felt like a gut punch to my tummy, and my stomach's still gurgling a little bit. I'm not going to lie, right? This thing's driving me crazy here. Sorry. I know I'm anal like that. It's really crazy. But so I got a gut punch, and I kind of got angry because I felt it was a very disrespectful way to go about this. And I had been asking very politely to please, work with me on this. I don't want any special treatment, but if I knew in advance what was coming, it was like, oh, no, we're all fine. It's all good, So they weren't forthcoming. They weren't being truthful with me. And I think that's where I got angry, because it's like, you're not being truthful. And it's a money situation. I am renting a house right now, and I was told I need to vacate in 30 days. And I'm like, that's not happening. So I was kind of shocked. Like I said, but I'd been asking them to be, just give me 90 days. The market's crazy. There's nothing to rent because everybody sold their house and now they're renting and blah, blah, blah. And it was, okay, we can do that. And it was just a placating. And there's no integrity. And I felt they weren't telling the truth. I mean, and maybe they didn't know. So I have to accept my part in that too. So if I know that they were going through probate and all this kind of stuff that was going on, I was kind of preparing. I've been looking, blah, 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 my story. You don't need to hear every detail, but this is what you do need to hear is I went to anger. Like I got angry. I was just like, what? That's so rude. And it was because what I said is because I felt like I wasn't being told the truth. So I had to deal with that. So I stewed in that for like 2 hours. And actually, I was kind of in shock. So I stewed in it. And I said, Nina, you teach this stuff. So what are you teaching? Well, after I sat with it, I'm like, well, you created the situation, or the situation was created with you in mind. I created it, right? And I teach this and I believe this. The situation is always in the best interest of soul growth. So any challenge that you have, and you've heard me talk about my 7-year life tsunami. So I've learned this lesson. But I think this lesson is going to be about deeper trust, because I have no idea where I'm going. I have no idea, right? And I don't know where I really want to go. And so I had to skip out of the external world, running that whole fear thing by me. Oh my God, the market's this and la, 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 and woe is me. So I gave myself a couple hours to do that, which I think it's kind of necessary. I mean, I'm human. I don't know about you. Like, I don't know very many people that just can go, like Jesus maybe, right? Or Buddha, that can go just from, oh, okay, let's go on divine. I didn't do that. And maybe that's not my persona, which it's really not my persona. So I started thinking of this, like I said, oh my God, I go, look, and then I just stopped. I said, Nina, stop this. Go within and say, you know what? This is really about trusting very deep with a very big unknown. Because moving's not it's not like, moving can be a big deal. There's a lot involved in it. There's community involved. It's an uprooting of, your security. So it's a lot. Like, people have to move. There's a lot. And so I was thinking about that, and I started thinking to myself, well, Nina, if you created this, if your thoughts and your inspired action created this, because I have a sweet deal here. I got to tell you, man, my rent is like a sweet deal. I'm in like a 3-bedroom house. It's right in Midtown. It's in a very walkable neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. So I created a very sweet deal. And I'm like, so Nina, create another even sweeter deal, right? So step away from the drama. Step away from the external forces, that fear-laden energies that come in. Oh my God, there's no place to rent. And you can't afford that because the houses have all gone up like by 56%, all this kind of stuff. And so, there's a lot of layers in that. There's a lot of layers in, first of all, going within and really saying that prayer, meditating, breathing, and trusting not only yourself, but trusting that the divine already has a plan. It's worked out. I'm good, right? What I need to be aware of, now, and intellectually, I got that, but now I have to feel it, trust it, and take inspired action. Because, it's not about me sitting here going, okay, divine, pick me up and show me and just plant me in my new place. It's not going to happen. I have to take inspired action. But what I did do is I stopped all the wheels turning, the brain overthinking. Because as you know, I told you this, I think it was my last video, that I can overthink things. And I slowed down. Slowing down brings you into connection with love and stillness. Hurrying brings about fear. Because you don't think, you're just like, you're thinking, you're just overthinking, or you're whatever you're doing. Or you think yourself into some things. You hurried. So I kind of just stepped back and I'm thinking about this. But the one thing that I asked for, because I can be very obtuse. It's my personality type, and it's just who I am. I know this about myself. So I ask for very specific signs. And when I pray, I even say, you know, please, you have to hit me over the head. I'll need signs. And then I'll take action. So instead of me jumping into something, I'm going to take action based on the signs or what my gut or my intuition, my non-physical aspects are saying. Then the personality type kicks in. Do you see how this, and we've been taught the exact opposite. See, we've been taught to take action first from the physical, then pray on it. Well, the damage is done if you do it that way, and sometimes it works out, but it never works out in the divine way that it can work out. I want the divine aspect of it to work out. Something that I can't even imagine is already waiting for me in the perfect place and the perfect community. It's already there. I just wait for the signs and take divine action. And for me, that takes patience. Because I'm not a patient person. I'm a get her done. You got to get her done, right? But I like to get things done. And honestly, that goes back to a lot of my childhood. And the getting done and have everything done was part of me getting attention from my mom. And from attention, I say love. So do you see how this stuff just all it's like a trail. It just kind of creeps. So if you don't know yourself, like I've asked these hard questions. So, and I talked about these cluster of issues that are going to surround you and that are embedded of you for this lifetime because it's part of your soul mission. So I'm getting this, right? And I see where the childhood stuff comes in. I see and I know my personality. I know that I overthink things. I know that I want to just jump in and get things done. But since I'm practicing personality typing with a spiritual understanding, I've also come to realize that I need to sit with things first, not jump in, say your prayers, mantras, meditations, whatever you do. Sit with that and see what comes up. Just see what comes up. And then don't ignore things. Because I tend to do that too. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. I'm like, I don't know. Nina. So I know that about myself. So I have to stop doing that as well. You know what? I need to be aware of it. Because I don't like the word stop. It's such a energy block. So I need to be aware of when I do that and go, okay, well, let's just look anyway. Or let's just give that a thought, right? Let's just give that a second thought. Since it came into you for a reason. Let's just give it a look. What do you think? What would it hurt? And maybe that's exactly what Divine wanted me to do. So I have to look for the signs and listen and don't dismiss like I know better. So, and every personality is different, but I can be pretty sure that a lot of you out there are getting gut punched. It's just what's happening as we go into this new earth, or this new transition of humankind. It's here. It's upon us. So if you're not doing that for yourself, if you're not taking things to the next level and really understanding yourself, you're not going to know which way to go. So I know my personality, it's got to take a back seat right now. This is not when physical action is inspired action is to be used. This is when, and it always should be, that I step back into the non-physical and do the non-physical work. Releasing any self-sabotaging ideas or thoughts that I can't, it won't, right? Instead of I need to do, I can, I trust, It will. It is done. So there's two different ways to look at that. The first one is a very conditioned way that we've all been conditioned. Oh, look out there. What's going out there? Well, then that's going to affect you. Does it? Doesn't have to. It just doesn't have to. Right? So I wanted to share that with you because I thought it was important. I thought it was important, first of all, for you to know that nobody is immune to what's going on out in the world today. No one. It's affecting everyone on every different levels, everywhere around the world. So you're going to get gut punched. You know, some of you have already lost your jobs, like wondering what the heck you're going to do. Or you're in relationships where the two of you are fighting because you don't agree with what's going on in the world. You know? So you're seeing these challenges and these life lessons. They're appearing. Rolling in. They're rolling in. It is because we are all getting prepared for the next level. Some will stay, some will go. And it doesn't have to necessarily, and I'm not talking like on a physical thing at all. I'm talking about just, I think where you vibrate, like I start talking about there's like this lower energies and higher energies, right? So these are time continuums or I don't even know how to phrase that, but there's different energy levels and one's not better than another. When you go to a different level, things just happen differently, you know? And I'm going to keep you abreast of what's going on because I might come on here 3 days later and go, what the? You know, hopefully I won't, but I'm sure I'll have days like that, you know, because I'm walking into great uncertainty. I don't know where I'm going, what I'm doing, blah, 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 you know, but it's okay. It's just part of life. And and I say this in my book, you know, when you walk with the unknown, you always are going to gain a fresh perspective. Creative energy will flow there. New creative energy flows there. New lessons appear. So I'll grow exponentially from this experience because it's part of my soul mission. It's just what it is. So I can't see it as this like, you know, doom and gloom thing trying to move in the middle of this chaotic real estate market. I just have to know it's going to work for me. I don't know how, I don't know when, you know, supposedly I only have like till the end of the month, but that's not going to work. Fat chance of that happening. But, you know, I'm going to go forward and do the best I can and trust, you know. So I'm going to lead, which I always say, you lead with your non-physical spiritual essence, that essential self, that eternal being that already knows you, knows where you need to go. It's already out there. Like Abraham Hicks says, it's already in the portal. It's just waiting for you to get in touch with it and pull it in. Say, come on, let's go. Get ready, get packing. You know, it's another new adventure. So I wanted to share that with you because, you know, I believe we're all going through some kind of gut punch right now. And we have been. Like, it's been 2 years of gut punches. But they're spiritual lessons. So either, you know, you go back with what you know and do what you know, which is fine. I told you I jumped in there for a minute. I gave it 2 hours. And then I was like, Nina, you know better. You know better. Go inside. You know, talk to your non-physical self, your higher being, your true self that knows your truth. Spend time there. Time spent there is much more productive, even though to the external world it doesn't seem so because you're not doing something already. What are you doing about it? Oh, I'm like, oh my God. You know, I'm spending time with my true self because that's where the answers are going to be. So I need to go there first. So many of us go out. We start seeking and looking and Yeah, I'm going to give it some time. I'm going to go in and trust my divine intelligence, my true self, my eternal being that's always guiding me. So I wanted to share that with you. I think it's important. So if you've been gut punched, drop a comment. I think we all have. Could be in relationships. It could be in housing. It could be, like you said, relocating and moving, or it could be in your job. It could be in friendships. A lot's been going on. It's pretty crazy. So a lot of us have been gut punched. So I hope you found this useful, and I hope it helps you if you're in a situation. First, stop. Stop. Just stop. Meditate, say a prayer, find stillness, take a breath, go take a walk. I took a walk yesterday. It was so helpful. Do the things that can center you instead of spiraling. Because I admit, I was pissed off for 2 hours. But then I'm like, what's that doing? It doesn't do anything. So I'm going to instead spend time in stillness with my true self, with that divine energy that runs through me, that golden spark that sits within me. Let's spend time there. So you can do those steps. Just stop, spend the time with yourself, and listen to what's coming up, and then write it down. Write it down. What's it telling you? What's it telling you? Then the cool thing is, if you're really in tune with your personality type, you can take inspired actions based on your type. Because the two work together. But if your personality type is clouded, or your personality type is conditioned through somebody else's narrative or their story, you're letting them author your life. So you're thinking like them. You're not thinking like you need to think. You're not thinking with your authenticness, your true self. So even if you get these beautiful, inspired downloads and you take action, not really knowing your personality type, it's not going to work. I have people come to me and go, well, this stuff doesn't work. I'm like, do you know your personality type? Well, I think I do. I'm an extrovert. I'm like, well, you're more than that, but let's start there. But see, divine intelligence can't work to you until you find your truth. Until you find and you live your truth. You live by your true self. And that means don't compare, don't compete, don't meet anybody else's expectations but your own. Find your own opinions. Create your own meta universe. I'm kind of not liking that word right now, but your meta universe is uniquely yours. It is no one else's. Your soul has a blueprint that's uniquely yours. And your personality was chosen specifically to meet that blueprint. So it has the exact tools you need to get over any gut punch or any darkness in your life. So, I hope this helped you guys. I appreciate it. If you want to subscribe or share, send this to a friend. I'm going to start revamping stuff. I got a little kink here with the hiccup with the moving, so things are going to be a little wobbly, but that's okay. That's life. That's how it goes. Divine timing, I say. It's all in divine timing. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be exciting. It's a new adventure. Where am I going to be? I don't know. Stay tuned. Where is Nina going to be? We will find out. But I do appreciate you so much. And I love doing this. And it really is my true path. I'm so glad I have that. That's such a great thing for me. Even when these hiccups come, I still know that I have myself. And I have that connection with divine intelligence, God, whatever you want to call it, Allah, whatever the great I is. That makes things so much easier. It's not to say it's going to be not hard, but you just have this peaceful knowing that that's going to be fine. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but it's going to be fine. All right, guys. Much joy to your life, okay? And I'll see you next week. All for now. Maybe I'll have an update, or maybe I'll be traveling. Maybe I'll just do something for my car. I got to go exploring. Love you all. Talk soon. Bye for now, Nina.